Yo, what up? Good morning, GMG. Monday, August 25th, 2025. Look at that. Another beautiful day to have a beautiful day. I got my co-host in the house, Tyler, Mando. Good morning. How you guys doing today?
Yeah, man. Doing great. How are you?
Dude, you're working on a bank holiday. Look at that.
I know.
Look at that. Thank you for understanding.
What's going on? What is going on?
Look at that. Sims 2. Love that. I love me a team that if your founder's not working on bank holidays, I mean, come on. So bullish on YEET. Oh, so bullish on YEET. Tyler, how you doing?
I'm good. Nice little weekend. Family, we went up to Milwaukee. Nice Midwestern city, a city full of REKT holders, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure. It's holding up half the economy, I think, over there.
But it might have been a bad weekend to touch grass. I missed the entire Footballfun talk. So we'll have a good chat with Adam here.
Still found time to post about Latina ladies, I saw.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
I missed the trade, but I saw the price action, so I still at least engagement farmed it.
I'm very curious what your wife thinks about your thick Latinas trade.
I'm not sure she saw that one. And
he didn't take the trade. It's defensible.
So he didn't take the trade. That means that we're not going to spend 20 minutes talking about it today.
Correct.
Right? Okay, got it.
Of course.
And he didn't catch the Football.Fun trade, but we are going to spend 20 minutes talking about it today. Because let me tell you, around 10:35, 10:40 a.m., so about 30 minutes from now, Adam from Football.Fun will be joining the show. I mean, may as well, right? It's what a killer weekend for those guys, and it's a lot of fun to see the timeline get something to get excited about. So Adam's going to join us in a little bit. Make sure you share. He's going to be joining us on audio and on video. So kick.com/Degenz live, DGENZ live is where you find us. I'm going to post it. I'm going to pin it in exactly a minute from now. First, we'll talk markets because, wow, what the hell was that last night? I definitely want to talk about it because maybe it was Mando selling. I don't know. But there's definitely that was crazy. I'm not going to lie. And it's still going on right now. So let's chit chat about that, and then I'm sure Tyler's got quite the weekend recap for us as we were just talking about, and then last but not least, this show, and then like I said, Adam Footballfun coming on the show to chat, and then this show is powered by Wallet Connect. Wallet Connect is a connectivity network shaping the future of on-chain UX. If you've connected to Web3 app, you've seen Wallet Connect, that blue logo. It's everywhere, an icon of trust, as recognizable as Visa at checkout. Want to learn more? Follow Wallet Connect on X and Telegram to stay ahead of what's next, but also Kraken Pro. With Kraken Pro, you get full control over your layout, drag and drop any module, customize it all. It's clean, it's smooth, and built for real traders. If you trade crypto, check out pro.kraken.com. Trade without trade-offs. Mano, tell us what the hell was that happened yesterday?
Who is the man, macro daddy of the land? Can you dig it?
GM, everyone. So I don't know, if you weren't paying attention over the weekend, then I don't think prices are really that much different. ETH was about this sort of level on Friday. Bitcoin was about 3% higher, that's for certain. Solana, I think, is around the same, maybe even slightly higher.
Yeah, maybe higher.
Yeah. So I think what we just had is a bit of volatility over the weekend. There was nothing really fundamental after Friday, which happened. We had a marginally dovish Fed, Jackson Hole, which led to stocks hitting all-time highs. Then over the weekend, we were kind of edging higher as we went into the US futures market open. ETH was touching 5K at one stage, or 4,950, something like that, and then just started to sell off. We got news that a Bitcoin whale went to deposit, I think it was 27K of Bitcoin. So a decent amount, and still has like $17 billion worth of Bitcoin. So he's got a decent amount to sell.
We should sell shame him, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what an idiot.
Can't believe it. What an idiot. What a moron.
Now, it's difficult to judge this one because he clearly has a massive bag. Today is a UK markets close, which is generally the biggest European market. So I don't know if that he decided to sell it into what is traditionally quite a quiet day in markets. This one, similarly, like I think next week is pretty quiet in the US because it's a US holiday. So you could say this was like more targeted. Who knows? But Europe did not like it. They were out partying. And Bitcoin went all the way down to 110K just now, roughly. ETH touched, I think, a low of around 2,500-ish, and Solana went down to like 195. So, I mean, we're just selling off from all-time highs now. We're now about 10% off all-time highs in Bitcoin, and about, obviously, we touched about 10% off all-time high just there in ETH. So a decent pullback. Bitcoin dominance is still around 58%. So it wasn't like Bitcoin necessarily outperformed that much in this move. It outperformed slightly. But a lot of altcoins, didn't trade that amazing. ETH still looks pretty strong to me, if I'm honest. Like,
very.
I'm not really that worried about the setup here. Look, one thing, just this is me as a trader talking now. It is very clear that CT is willing to throw away this market at the drop of a hat. Like,
What do you mean by that?
One downward move, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's completely over."
Yeah,
that really tells me that no one's made money. That's what it tells me. It tells me that people do not have the trades on in majors. They probably missed Bitcoin's move. They missed ETH's move, and now
they're gonna miss this coming Solana move.
Well, they've just been dancing around in shit, and they are kind of almost happy when we have these sort of moves, or it's just like, oh yeah, it's completely over. Like, they would rather it was over than the idea that we can continue to go higher. And I don't see any, like, other than some chartists bringing up some random chart and like overlaying like a 2021 thing, or talking about fucking fifth wave bullshit. Like, there's nothing that tells you that we're just going to dump and this is the end of the cycle. Like, stocks hit all-time highs on the weekend. We had a slightly dovish Fed. Global liquidity. This is the biggest deviation in Bitcoin's price from global liquidity in about 3 years. Just to put that in perspective. Bitcoin, according to that, that 14-week lag of global liquidity, should be trading about 150K, right? And right now, everyone's like, "Oh, it's going down. It's going to zero." I just don't see it. Like, if you're talking about a fundamental reason why we should be going lower, it just feels as though people want it to go lower. And I think hold on to your horses, hold on to your hats. I think we're going higher. I think personally, I know Bitcoin hasn't been the best trade. Like, I moved about 70% of my bag of my ETH bag back into Bitcoin, and then moved part of that into Link. I like owning Bitcoin here. My gut tells me that Bitcoin is going to continue to be an asset you want to own, and it's not going to go down that much at all. And but I also like ETH. I like the majors. I think I'd be really wary about not owning those. Like, I do own some Link because I just kind of feel like it's got good momentum, but Link is the 11th biggest coin in crypto. It's not like I own some random coin.
Yeah, right? It's not a random shit coin.
Like,
and it has a fuck ton of utility.
That's including like three different or two different stables in there. So like, like if you're gonna own alts, like, make sure you own some, like, maybe some major ones. But I think the majors are going higher. I really do.
Yeah. I like this tweet. You know, I don't need to hear this, probably a lot of you, but you don't have to pick one of these. You can simply own all four and long all of them and get rich.
Right.
Which is, he's showing BTC SOL hype, but for you it's like BTC SOL Link or whatever, like the majors that is, right?
I've considered swapping it all for JLP and then just swapping out some of the Solana exposure there for Link. That's what I've been thinking.
But JLP is BTC ETH SOL
right.
USDC.
Exactly.
So it's
because
the same
I've kind of got that trade on. I've got Bitcoin, I've got ETH, and I've got Solana. And I don't mind, like, Solana, I don't hate Solana here.
It's looking good, dude. With the treasury announcements,
Yes, I think it looks okay. So owning some of that and owning a bit of Link and swapping, because SOL, it's 45% SOL. So I'd probably go like and swap 25% of that out for like Bitcoin and Link. Do you know what I mean? And own 30%, get a 30% yield on that. Like, I don't know. I don't think that you're going to get much better than that. And it's pretty defensive as an asset anyway. So like, yeah, stick to that. Stick to that.
Love that. Look at the lines we drew last week. Just are trusted.
We're not seeing them, FYI. We're not seeing your lines.
Oh, what?
No, we saw something, and yeah, not safe for work on the screen just then.
Mando's
Shut up. That's not true.
Mando's commentary is so spot on. Like everyone is seemingly out of position and actively rooting for the coins to sell off. It's not even like they're okay if it sells off like they want it to happen. The fear and greed index is at 47.
Excuse me?
One business day after we hit all-time highs. Like, are you kidding me?
No, I don't believe you.
I just checked it. It's at 47.
That's insane.
And that matches what I'm seeing. Like that feels accurate.
Oh my god. We had to stop the fearing red markets on MYRIAD because like it was so high. It's like a waste of time. But we should bring it back at this stage.
So we heard.
There's one thing that could be risky this week. We have PC inflation, which comes out on Friday, and maybe we'll trend into that. But like, I'm pretty sure the Fed's going to cut rates, given what he just said. I'm pretty sure.
I mean, he was very hawkish, right? No, dovish.
No, he was a little bit dovish, yeah.
Dovish, sorry.
Yeah, I just doesn't really feel that risky to me, guys. Like,
so what was this? Like, what was it? Is there an explanation? Oh, go ahead, Tyler.
I'm gonna say, well, it is Ghost Month. That's like the only bearish.
Oh wait, Mando wasn't there for that. Mando, you didn't hear about Ghost Month, did you?
What's that?
Oh, Tyler, take this.
Ghost Month is the 7th lunar month where Asia historically gets spooked and doesn't like to trade.
Oh, okay.
Bitcoin historically sells off in this.
It's pretty real.
Period.
We're doing a bit of mirroring stuff.
Yeah, a little bit. The trend is arguably too big to ignore, but of course, just because it's happened 15 years in a row doesn't mean it's going to happen for a 16th year. But
he's got a point. And September seasonality, which is usually not great. But listen, it is believed that during the month, the gates of the underworld open. And spirits and ghosts are free to roam the human world. Families hold ceremonies, burn incense, and make offerings to appease wandering spirits. Impact on traders in many Asian countries. Actually, we'll be visiting them end of month, Mando. Especially Hong Kong, Singapore, Taiwan, and parts of Southeast Asia. Ghost Month has an economic and trading implications because of cultural superstition. Investors often avoid making big financial moves, example, buying property, starting businesses, or investing in large projects. Markets sometimes experience lower trading volumes as traders stay cautious. And I gotta say, Asians are super spiritual.
Superstitious.
So he's got a point. Superstitious and spiritual. Like, you know, it's like they're very superstitious in Asia.
This is how you have setups for a huge Q4 too, right? It's like like we have all the fundamental setup to be pushing higher is absolutely there. Could we consolidate for a month because Asia is risk off? Sure. But it doesn't change like my fundamental view in any way. I'm just talking about on a hyper short-term basis, like this could be an overhang for a little while.
Oh, wow. It ends the day we fly to Korea.
You know they're not going to have the conference during Ghost Month, right?
Exactly. The conference on the 23rd.
They're going to be partying because Ghost Month is over. And
yo,
Korea's going to be ready to play.
So also, I know one Asian that doesn't give a fuck about Ghost Month, and his name is Tom Sleep. So let me Wall Street is bidding, but yeah, man, though, good for you to know this. Ghost Month for everybody on this and on listening to the show. Just a reminder, we are live on video. It's a better show. So Degenz live on Kick, find us there. Anyways, I think that's the good little roundup. You've got all the prices. So Bitcoin's back above about 112. Solana's 200. We'll talk about this in a second. I'm sure, Tyler, as you cover your topics with the DATs and our Fed watch, Tyler, I knew you posted about yesterday. It's back to 86%. So we're looking good here. Tyler, let's go to you.
For daily NFT and crypto analysis. Tyler T on FOMO hour calls the kids can't miss.
Read about some bears.
Yeah, folks, crypto majors were very red this morning after a massive Friday rally, but we are rebounding a bit. We got Bitcoin down 2% on the day at 112K. It was in the 110s. We've got ETH down 2%, 4670. It was around 4,500 as Mando mentioned, and SOL down 3%, 199. Hype 4%, one of the top movers on the day, a big beneficiary of some of that Bitcoin whale selling action that took place over on Hyperlook. And we'll get into that later on. The ETFs pulled in a net $288 million last week, while the Bitcoin ETFs lost $1 billion plus. So that's a noticeable trend. Odds of a September rate cut ran to 90% plus on Friday following Powell's speech at Jackson Hole, around 86% this morning. A Bitcoin whale, as I just mentioned, sold 24,000 Bitcoin on Sunday, causing a flash crash to just over 110,000. Japan's regulators are preparing to lower crypto taxes and authorize Bitcoin ETFs by 2026. It looks like Japan is actively embracing crypto. And then onshore in the U.S., the IRS crypto head resigned and is leaving for the private sector amidst tax policy changes.
He's going to join Tether. Is he joining Tether?
He's for sure joining someone like that.
It looks like they are understaffed.
He's joining YEET, actually. We've hired him. He's going to come.
Whoa. Breaking news, y'all.
In corporate treasuries, we got an influx, a flurry of announcements this morning. So Tom Lee's BitMine added another 200,000 ETH last week. They held 1.71 million ETH. That's about 7.9 billion. They now have 8.8 billion in ETH plus cash on hand, up 2.2 billion on the week. Quite a jump. We had in SOL 3 announcements. So Galaxy Jump and Multicoin are going to raise $1 billion for SOL Treasury. Sharps Technology filed for a $400 million placement to buy SOL. And then DFDV, who we had on this show, announced a $125 million equity raise to buy more SOL. So combined, that's around $1.5 billion in potential SOL pressure if they're able to raise all these funds. So big money going into SOL. And then BNB, a $1 billion BNB DAT was announced, tied to this company, B Strategy. It looks like it's going to have some backing from CZ's investment firm as well. So take a look at that one. In token airdrop and protocol news, Footballfun was the talk of the timeline this week, and it exploded in interest. All metrics, its ecosystem market cap ran past 150 million at peak on Sunday. We had the Trump World Liberty Fi token debut on Hyperlink, but this thing opened at $40 billion FTV before falling over 40%. It was around 23 billion the last time I checked. And then Hyperlink would set spot trading volume record, new all-time high on Sunday, 3.4 billion, thanks to that Bitcoin whale selling. I think they outpaced a lot of the central exchanges. So some big moves on Hyperliquid. In memes are red, not to be unexpected, with the majors being red. LLM, Latina language model, was the on-chain winner of the weekend, soaring to 15 million. And then Heaven Team, I got to give my quick daily shout out to Heaven and Light. They're going to lock up their Light tokens for a full year. Though the token did fall about 30% over the weekend. And that's the rundown.
I love this rundown. So just to go back on Ghost Month quickly, it's in line with my birthday. I told you guys, September 7th is the bottom. The Ghost Month begins on August 23rd. The Hungry Ghost Festival, which is the peak of Ghost Month, is on September 6th. Also, if you want to know what to offer, the common offerings are cooked meals, fruits. Avoid pears. They mean separation. Snacks and sweet. They like that. Tea, rice wine, and some incense. So I may be partaking in these offerings, Tyler, for Ghost Month. Maybe we all have to.
So we go long on September 7th. I like that. And I think
we always do that.
Anecdotally, how that lines up. So like this is the last vacation week.
Yep.
School starts.
Labor Day.
The first week of school, it's like you're just kind of getting back in the mix. The focus is on getting the kids into the routine. So it's that next week when everyone's like, okay, let's get back to the desk. Let's lock in for the rest of the year. And that's the setup right there.
God damn it. He's put this shit in my head now.
And we had a comment. I did miss this in my rundown because it happened after I posted, but John Wang, who we had on the show.
Yeah.
The head of crypto at Kaushi. So big.
I saw that. Look at that. Prediction markets. Dude, is it me? Is it you guys seen this too? Like over the weekend, like it's prediction markets like dominating the timeline. It's like the only thing people are talking about now.
It felt like a prediction market cabal had gotten together and decided like this was the weekend.
Yo.
I don't think it actually happened, but it felt like that. But yeah, you love to see it. And
I mean, as a member of the prediction market cabal, I can tell you this is real. We all like got a, me, some folks at Polymarket, MYRIAD, some, Kalshi, we called each other, so let's have a weekend, So yeah, it's, just typical calls, right? Anyways, make sure to sign up, MYRIAD Markets. It's going to be a big.
One quick factor. I think the meme coin casino is an enemy of prediction markets because when there's easy gains to be had in that casino, folks are going to go over there. There are no easy gains. Like that is a very hard casino to win in right now. And I think a lot of people have taken their chips and are looking elsewhere. And I think it's a good setup for prediction markets.
Yep, definitely. One of which was kind of gaming, intersection gaming, sports, and prediction markets, Footballfun. But let's keep that for when Adam comes, because there's a lot to cover on that front. Tyler, go to you. Some big news on the Solana DATs, which we talked about last week or the week before, and they're here.
Yeah, we were talking. There was speculation on the timeline, and I think when people who seem like they have connections are kind of whispering that these big deals are coming, you have to pay attention. And here we go. Just a week later, Galaxy, Multicoin, huge firms, they're going to try to raise $1 billion to buy SOL. And this other company, Sharps Tech, raising $400 million private placement to buy SOL. So that's $1.5 billion. If you look at a market cap adjusted basis, SOL, ETH is about 5.5x SOL right now. So that's the equivalent of $7 billion in buy pressure. There's some asterisks on this because there's some talk that they're going to be buying from the SOL Foundation directly. So there's some nuance to this, but just for perspective, Tom Lee holds $8 billion in ETH. And they're effectively raising that equivalent for SOL. And we saw the impact he had on ETH, of course, along with Sharplink and the Ether machine, which have also combined to buy $5 billion. So not just Tom Lee driving the ETH price action, but if they're able to raise those funds, like I don't think that's priced in, I guess is my cut to the chase comment. And
what do you make of the Solana DATs, Mando? Do you have a strong opinion on that?
I think they were known about for a long time. So I don't know if they, and we saw SOL catch up a decent amount, right? So
yeah,
I don't know if like that being announced necessarily was new news. I think if they bought and then said, look, we're going to buy 5 billion more, right? The real news that started moving ETH, right, was when they said, hey, we're going to start buying, and then we're going to buy 25 billion more.
yeah.
We're in the low billions right now. Like, if they said 10 plus, right, or we really started to get big figures get thrown around a shelf, then I think we'd start to see Solana really move. I've said it for a while. I like Solana. I do think Solana's time is not just yet, just because I think you need the ETFs as well to really ratchet up the demand. But I do think the risk reward here does look okay.
That is an important difference. So the ETH ETFs have been a huge part of this pump too, right? Like I think we've been giving the applause to Tom and Joe, but those ETH inflows were insane. Right?
Yeah,
those were like 4 billion.
I think we got some updates on that this weekend too, right? Was it Friday or Saturday on the XRP especially, but Solana ETFs as well.
There's a staking ETF being filed for, but they haven't been approved yet. They haven't been approved.
Okay.
And the main one is BlackRock, as I've said it a few times. And I think they will apply for one by the end of the year. I'm certain of it.
All right, let's see. There was XRP spot ETFs are looking good, that's for sure. They've got a lot of people, but and then that's was it. VanEck files for 100% liquid staking ETF on Jito Sol. Yeah, so that was the news over from Nate Gerasi over the weekend. Anyways, Tyler, yeah, we got something. What else you got?
We talked about the headline, but just digging in a little bit. Tom Lee, BitMine, again, so they added another 200,000 ETH. They have 1.7 million. They now have 8.8 billion in ETH plus cash. See what their MNAV, and I don't know if these figures are totally updated. It's trading around 1 or slightly above 1. So that's going to be interesting to track if that's going to perhaps be a slowdown for them. But I mean, not a huge slowdown considering that they were able to buy 200 million in the past week. It'll be very interesting to see what Sharplink reports tomorrow and how much they were able to accumulate. Their MNAV has been right around 1 for the past week, which traditionally would hamper their ability to buy. But of course, they also just announced that buyback program. So maybe that gave a little bit of investor confidence. So we'll see how the DAT trade continues here this week. And if it's signs of slowing down, that could perhaps be a little bit of a hindrance to near-term price action as well. Just something to keep an eye on. But the more positive news, perhaps a surprise, was out of Japan. So a couple headlines. So they are, I'm trying to find this here. Yeah, so the first headline, the regulators are preparing to lower crypto taxes and authorize Bitcoin ETFs by 2026. So embracing crypto. And then this morning, their finance minister said Bitcoin and crypto can be part of a diversified investments. So kind of giving the green light to putting crypto in more broader portfolio allocations. And again, this is how you get to that more 1% to 3%, 5% standard portfolio allocation, which is the higher for longer primary foundational bull case right there. And now we've started to see signs of it in the US. Now we're starting to see it in Japan as well. So I think that's a very positive sign out of one of the biggest economies in the world for sure.
Yeah. It's that's definitely damn Japan. I guess they announced it because right now, because there's not WebEx happening in Japan right now. I saw Arthur was speaking there today or yesterday. They have a whole crypto conference happening at the moment. We know they're pro crypto AF over there. So love to see that. And it's been really really good. I'm looking at the timeline. Hold on. There was quickly, I do want to go there for 1 second. Mando, you just posted something. Our favorite chart, Tyler. Our favorite chart. We used to talk about this chart a lot.
M2? I haven't pulled up in a while.
How did you know? How did you know?
Oh, I know what my favorite chart is.
How did you know? This is great. This is great. He knew.
Oh my God, look at that lag.
And Mando, our quant. Hey, Mando is our quant. You know, he's the quant. He's the show's quant. And he's saying biggest deviation from global M2 correlation in 2 years. Don't know, guys. Feels like a buying up.
It's actually much more than 2 years. I think it's like close to 4 years. And this correlation is not just a 2 year thing. It's this has been going on for a long time with Bitcoin. If it starts to correlate again, I think you'll be kicking yourself and being like, crap, should have bought this. So
everyone's forgetting like what they're like, if Saylor's not buying, who's buying? And they're just like totally forgetting.
Yeah, they're totally forgetting it's not just a Saylor trade, right? It's like one of the biggest inflation / liquidity pumping hedges in markets, and that continues. It's just going higher.
Love to see that.
This catch-up trade. So I really hope that it plays out and we spurn the ghost month trends.
Wasn't also just a fat CME gap on this morning?
There was. I think also, like I said to you, European markets, at least UK markets, are closed, and that's the biggest European market.
Yeah, I didn't know the UK was that important, honestly.
Well, think about where all the market makers are based.
Are they in the UK?
Oh yeah, Wintermute, UK.
Wintermute's UK company? I always thought most market makers are like
most of them are UK because it's the biggest. When it comes to global markets, FX is the biggest.
Yeah,
is the biggest for FX, and most of the market makers are FX adjacent. Let's put it that way.
Got it.
Like they're often started as FX houses. London is the #1 market for like half of the securities out there, basically half of the markets out there, just because of the
wow. Are you bull posting the UK right now? Are you trying to sell us the UK?
I'm trying to tell you, when the UK is on holiday, it is not a small deal, for sure.
I had no idea. Interesting. Yeah. I just didn't know the UK was that important in the grand scheme of things. But it's true that for the longest time, London was the capital of the markets of the world, alongside New York, right? So still is, right? But it's interesting. Good to know. Good to know. Anyways, Ty, what else?
Let's pull up the WLFI chart on Hyperliquid, and
Let me open
the chart raises some questions. I will say that. The first being, how did it open so damn high? So it opened at 44 cents, which is 44 billion.
It's crazy.
Since go to the 1 hour so you can see.
Yeah, I'll go like 5 minutes even. There you go.
It's been down only, so it's basically down a full 50%.
I mean, it opened too high, right? That's why, no?
Yes, 44 billion is pretty crazy. I think it is more interesting here at 22 billion. And I'm not in this trade, so nothing to disclose. I think that the float it's high FTV, low float. So I think the float's like 5% or something. So the market cap is projected to be much lower than this. I think that the token comes out September 1st. I want to say, so I think next Monday. I saw.
Yeah, Labor Day.
Interesting day that they chose for that. With the
Dude, the president of the free world is launching a coin on Labor Day. I love this timeline.
But like the president's last coin went to 75 billion, and it didn't have a product tied to it. And this one's going to have a product tied to it. So I mean, you can paint a pretty easy bull case, right? Like even if you think like
AAVE 25 billion, I think it's wild. Is this going to be 25 billion? I can't believe that. Like, what does World Living Financial even do?
It's like AAVE, right?
But does anyone use it? AAVE is 67% of the whole lending market.
Whoa.
It's like the behemoth. After that, I think it's Camino or maybe one of the others. But like, World Living Financial is nothing right now.
It's the president's coin.
We had one of those. Yeah. How many other coins has he got coming as well? Isn't Truth Social going to have a coin?
One every 6 months, probably.
Yeah, right. Like, I don't know. This feels wild. Feels properly wild to me.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not long, but I would be also. I don't know if I would be short on this.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Crime season, baby. Crime season.
I mean, fuck it. Tyler.
I gotta go, lads.
Peace.
Good to see
you. Let me I pinged Adam, but I think he's coming soon. Tyler, what about those large language Latinas? what was that all about?
Yeah, a few friends were in this trade from sub 1 million. I was just out with the fam, totally missed it. It's just your meme coin runner of the weekend, but this one went on a pretty healthy tear from sub 1 million. I mean, oh wow, it hit like 27 million or something at peak, and now down to 15.
No gas in the tank, man. Still, like that's nothing. 27 mil, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably one of the we're seeing like one or two of these per week. What was interesting to me about this one is like we already had an LLM, if you remember. It was the large language model.
Yeah, which had gone super viral, right?
So this is like a derivative of that, but folks got behind it, and this was the runner. I don't think there was a whole lot of other action. The Light ecosystem kind of got wrecked. I mean, they had that big announcement, which I thought would be bullish, and it was like it briefly was, but everyone has just been collectively deciding to sell off their Light tokens.
So what went down there? Is it just because it was really high? It was a good trade for a lot of people, and they sold, or was there like a catalyst for the sell off?
Yeah, the metrics aren't looking as good.
Okay.
So their revenue is down. Some
as we expected, right?
Are down.
Yeah.
For me personally, like I am, from a trading perspective, and I've talked about this, right? I don't want to jump to conclusions in what is historically like the worst few week period of the meme market. So I think if you believe that this team has a good foundation in place, I think this trade could potentially still have legs. But I mean, it is dependent on them, on traders and runners happening in this ecosystem, right? And we haven't really seen that. Nothing's really gotten past 8 or 9 million. and only a couple have gotten there. And the early runners have all just like basically sold off to zero. So you need folks having some success in your casino to take off. But the flywheel hasn't stopped. I mean, they now have 4.1 million invested and 4% of their tokens burned. And if they can keep the revenue up at the lower market cap, they're going to burn a higher percent. So there is a bull case to be had, but yeah, it's not the best weekend for that eco.
Yeah, that as well. All right, well, I see Adam in this too. We'll bring you on in a second, unless Tyler, you want to go now, unless there's something else that you wanted to cover that we did not, and if not, we'll set the stage.
Quick tease, and then I'll get right to Adam. The CEO of Bitwise, Hunter Horsley, commented that their blue chip NFT index took I'm quoting, meaningful new subscription for the first time in a while.
Interesting, and that's
they've got like it's an NFT ETF. It's like 54% punks. It's got like Pudgies, Bored Apes.
I know it's a lot of 2021 shit, right?
Yeah,
it's not the greatest index, but I think if there's meaningful interest, it's probably just for penguins and punks. Which, by the way, even out of that, mostly punks, because we know for a fact a lot of people are trying to raise DATs for punks. Interesting.
Agreed.
Let's see it. Hold on. I think I can. I just want to view the fucking website. There it is.
The returns have not been great, I think.
Where is it? Oh my god, Euro website. I don't like a Euro website. Give me Bitwise.
Guys, this is not the best user experience for your website. Let's just put it there.
I love you guys. Hunter, I'm a fan of you, but let me access your website. There it is. So this is the link. Oh, hold on. Okay. What am I? Individual investor. I agree. Okay.
There it is.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
54% weighted punks, 14%, 15% weighted pudgy. Perfect sense. Bored Apes, squiggles make sense. Little Pudgy, I mean, you're betting on Pudgy, so I guess whatever, sure. Mutant Apes, Milady, Azuki Doodles, yeah, I don't know.
These numbers are strange because those like Pudgies are not up 20% on the day. In fact, they're down 20%. It's a really bad day for Pudgies.
What about in US dollars? John, US here.
ETH is down on the day too.
Yeah, I'm not sure how this works, but interesting. Okay.
But where there's smoke, there's fire, right? So we heard rumors. Yep. There's a lot of speculation around SOL DATs coming. Boom, today we got them. There's been a lot of speculation around punk DATs, NFT DATs. It seems like something maybe in the works here.
This is going to get the raise, right? Like I was talking to you guys about on the show when I met someone who was raising for these DATs. It's like he was telling me like most of the time they go to the end and like one investor pulls out or something doesn't happen and it doesn't go live, right? So it's actually way harder and complex than people think. And we'll have probably to wait till September to get there. But anyways, with that being said, let's bring the hottest guy on the timeline right now, at least this past weekend, Adam, founder of Football.Fun. Ooh, nice hat, Adam. GM, how you doing?
GM, guys, I am very well. How are you guys doing?
We're great. We're great. You want everybody to call it football on the timeline. I love it.
That's pretty much one of the proudest achievements of my life. I will have to say that. But yeah, like it's been kind of crazy.
I can imagine.
Obviously, you know, you kind of hope and you build your product. We've been building for over a year. Like a lot of people just think, where did this thing come from? You know, for us, we were sort of building this. It's kind of really big passion of ours that we want to bring this product. We thought there was a gap there. But we just did not expect it would go the way it did and go quite that quickly. So yeah, we've got a very happy but also quite tired team in the last week. But yeah, it's been going amazingly well.
I love that. So let's get into that, right? Like I'm kind of, because I had no idea you were building for a year, etc. I fell into Football.Fun. Was it about a week ago? Maybe it was last Monday. I forget when. I was like, oh, this is cool. I mean, I played FIFA my whole life. I'm a football fan. I was born in Paris. I was like, you know, it's like the Euro kid in me always loved football. And so I was like, well, this makes perfect sense. It's super fun. Also, we did work with Saylor last year on the show, about a year or 2 years ago. I forget when. So all of this makes incredible sense. And then, you know, this weekend I was out and about and I wake up on Sunday and this thing's blown up and it's doing very well. So first question is, maybe give like a little background introduction on yourself and like that whole year of building, because like a lot of people attribute like success like overnight in this space, like this blown up now, but you said 1 year. I had no clue you were been for a year. So like maybe like what's the background here? Like how did this all start? And then Ty and I will just jam with you on a few things.
Yeah, amazing. So yeah, like a very brief background. I spent 10 years working for the UK government, Ministry of Defence. That was my first ever career in my 20s. So I did basically like infrastructure and large software project development stuff. I realized it wasn't for me. It was fine, but I had this kind of entrepreneurial kind of ambition, and I started like that about 8 years ago. And that kind of led me into the first thing I did in Web3, which was actually working with SoRare. And I built them a free-to-play game called the SoRare Academy, which used their NFT cards. But their biggest onboarding challenge at the time was, this was 2021 when, the top card in the game could be $1 million. People would just get on the app and they'd go, what the hell? Like, we do not understand these prices. So I built them a free-to-play, and they liked the game. It became one of SoRare's best onboarding tools. And I then joined, that was kind of like a side job. It just kind of ran itself. And I joined a fantasy sports gaming studio. They were building a game, like a kind of fantasy sports game, which they sort of had. They were kind of like one of those Web 2.5 studios. And they were like, hey, Adam, you know about crypto. Come and make it crypto-y. And then they eventually kind of dropped that element like 2 years later. So I parted ways with them because I wanted to stay in Web3. I saw the opportunity. I did a side quest then with a friend of mine who was actually building a crypto payments business, which got acquired by Portal Coin. If you've ever seen Portal Pay advertised, that was a company that I founded and was acquired by Portal. And then I worked for those guys for like 8 months or so, but really just wanted to be a founder again. Fantasy sports was, always been my thing and what I really wanted to do. And I just saw this gap for this product, and we just wanted to do it in a different way. And the reason you didn't really hear of us is that we didn't do any marketing until we'd actually had a product. So you get the standard thing in crypto, big fancy trailer. They sell you an NFT or a token. There's no product for 2 years. In that time, they get bored or they rug you or whatever. We did the opposite. So when we put our Twitter page live in February, people could log in and play, and we had like a fully playable experience. So we've been playing this game with about 2,500 monthly actives since February, just kind of quietly, invite only, like big SoRare holders, all that kind of crowd, but also crypto Twitter people and just like people who've never really liked football before, but they like trading. They're loving it as well. So our retention was really good. We knew we were going to retain users because we demoed it for 6 months and people were enjoying it, but we just did not expect almost seemingly most of crypto Twitter to turn up and just start smashing the buy button. It was just wild.
Number go up as the single greatest utility in crypto, right?
Well, we are kind of crypto native team. We know what marketing works in this space. It wasn't a complete accident. We've been planning this. And if you don't, you can be a good product and no one cares, right? Like, oh, fun football game, no one cares, right? The number has to go up or you're just not going to get the traction. So that is why we used that marketing path. We made it really shareable. We made it streamable. And we kind of built the market in that way. So I guess what we want to kind of get across now is, we're not a meme coin launchpad. We're actually a game. We're here to stay. We actually do want to build the product Top Shot should have been, and carry on that arc. And this isn't something you're just going to see for a week and we're going to go.
So just as a reminder, because I see a lot of people just join also to hear you speak. We're live on Kick. So a lot of people on Twitter Space, about 400 plus. It's pinned to the top, kick.com/Degenz live. You can just get the link on my X account or Tyler's. And we're live here with Adam, founder of Footballfun. Tyler, I know you got some questions quickly because I want to double down on something you just said. You said this was not lucky. This was planned. Also like a large part of CT is football fans, but the hand egg version, right? not the football play with your feet. So they don't know necessarily Lamine Yamal, or let alone like Cunha at Liverpool, right? Yamal is like kind of international, right? But even the top 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, they don't even know those players, right? That's not a knock. That's just the truth. So one question is, what do you mean by this was all planned and we worked on it? So what worked, right, this week to blow those volumes up? And second question is, how do you get a crowd that is not necessarily familiar even with the sport that you're promoting to be interested in it?
Yeah, and that's one of the most interesting things about the journey over beta was that we expected, I guess, the usual suspects to like the game. They get the fantasy sickos like me who, they will play most games. We knew it was well targeted. We've put a lot of this game's been building in my head for about 8 years. We've put so much effort into the economics, the gameplay, making it like super brain dead simple on the surface, but actually ton of depth as well. Like once you really learn, it's got like an esports style skill ranking system. If you really want to learn how that works, if you don't, just pick the good players, watch the man kick the ball, you'll do fine. You don't really actually need to worry about the details. And what we've found, to my surprise, actually, is that a lot of the crypto guys who were just playing because they started out as maybe they're my friends or whatever, they just became football fans. In the same way, like crypto and money has a way of making people interested in anything. Like who used to be interested in decentralized science or whatever. Like suddenly, if there's money to be made in that protocol, suddenly the timeline is full of fucking DeFi experts or whatever. It's like, so as long as like people are trading, and then suddenly 2-3 weeks go by and they're experts. They're talking about whatever. Like we've got people in our team who who never liked football before, and now they're correcting their dads, and like women who've never played football before or known about, now they're correcting their dads in the pub about who's playing. Or like I've got my wife who's never shown an interest in soccer before or football before. I now wake up to the sound of her opening packs. It's kind of wild, and I think it's just the simplicity of it that people get.
Adam, I've got some questions. I want to dig into this in depth, but I guess quick, just surface level question. Can you give our listeners who may not be super familiar with the game, just like quick overview, how it works? It's a fantasy game. You buy and trade players, digital cards. Just give us the quick overview.
Yeah, it's super. If you're into trading, as this audience always will, it's basically built on a Uniswap model, effectively. So you log in, you will buy players. They look like players. In the back end, they're actually tokens. So you buy them. There's a finite supply. They will operate in exactly the way you would expect. Once you own them in your squad, when they perform in real life and the real life matches happen, if they're the best player in their position, you are given a skill ranking based on how well you do. That gives you what we call skill points. You can spend skill points on packs of players, so you get this like cool opening experience. Those players are tradable tokens. So once you've got them, you can build your squad, or if you don't like them, you can sell them, get gold, which is actually USDC 1-to-1, and then build the squad you want and just keep trying to climb the rankings. So if you weren't paying close attention, you'd probably think this looks like a meme coin casino this week. It has been a little bit reminiscent of one, but that's not our ultimate purpose. Like this is actually a skill-based sports game designed to be like just really simple and fun and enjoyable.
So weekly, the fantasy tournaments run weekly. Is that the cadence?
Twice a week usually. So early season's a bit quiet, so we've only got weekend tournaments now. But as the weeks go by, there's basically never a tournament not in progress. So you're always like 2 days away from the next reward drop from the end of the tournament. So yeah, it's a pretty loop.
Got it. Well, when I first found out about this, one of the first questions that popped in my head was, okay, what lessons did you learn from Top Shot? And you kind of went there in your intro. So you want to make this, I think your direct comment was the product that Top Shot should have been. So I'd love to hear you elaborate on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the issue, Top Shot showed that there's a huge sports crypto crossover. That's to do, I think, with speculation. Like everything that succeeds in crypto, it's usually speculative and fast moving. So tokens are kind of perfect for that. People in sports love to speculate. They speculate on all kinds of things. about the performance of athletes. So everyone really engaged with Top Shot. A lot of OGs in the crypto space got into crypto because of Top Shot. Huge audience there. But what they found was opening packs was cool, but there's no gain. You know, there's no reason these actually retain interest or value, and that's what they wanted. But it was never really delivered. We've seen other kind of like NFT based card games, things like Ultimate Champions or So Rare. I think I would have probably done NFTs in 2021. It was the thing, but I think what we've learned from that experience is that NFTs are actually quite illiquid.
Yeah.
And they're actually difficult to trade. If no one wants your player, you have to just sit on it. Whereas in our market, it's a liquid DEX effectively. You can sell straight into that DEX.
Smart.
Yeah, and it is a free market. So as you can see, absolute sea of red today. But yesterday, like that kind of reflects the run up. You know, it was just absolutely wild.
I mean, yes, normal. It pumped like crazy all weekend.
So it pumped from a 2 mil market cap 12 days ago to 150 mil market cap, and it's obviously retraced. So
obviously, yeah, that's whatever.
It's gonna happen. It's fine. And because I think there's some people who just don't believe us yet. They're like, oh my god, when it blows up like that much on crypto Twitter, obviously there's a lot of people who've just met us for the first time through some P&L screenshot of someone winning $1 million, and they look at it and go, is that a real thing? Totally understandable. And I think we're just gonna keep going, keep delivering a fun game until people realize that we're actually not just a 10-day entertainment for crypto Twitter thing, you know.
Well, the other thing that happens when you blow up on crypto Twitter is people look for fun angles. I think we saw some folks trying, like, criticizing the fee structure. So I'd love for you to kind of get into the fee structure, how it works, perhaps how and why you designed it that way.
Yeah, actually love to chat about that, because that's been probably the most contentious thing. I think people are used to like DeFi protocols that compete on like these razor thin margins, and they look at that market and then they come to our market and they're like, why are you charging a 5% fee? They kind of don't get that because it's very unfamiliar. I stand by it. You know, there's a very, very good reason that we do that. So our basic principle is that when you spend $1 on our marketplace, 95% goes into the liquidity pool. So that's 95% effectively is like our return to player. So we don't actually take any customer funds, which is very different from anything like a DraftKings or a So Rare. We don't take the money and decide like this is the reward pool. The reward pool is the liquidity pool. That's the amount of money you've got to play in. And 95% just goes into that platform. All we do versus on the reward side is try and manage that as like a custodian, because it's not our money we're giving away. We're trying to manage, does this game feel rewarding every tournament versus are we issuing too much supply where it's going to start having an effect on the market? So we do that basically by 75% automated maths and about 25% quant autism. And we just adjust that on a per tournament basis to make sure it feels good every week, because I've found other games try and predict a year later, like what the market will be like. Like, look at our market. Like, how do you predict what that will look like in any time? And then people try and like calculate an ROI and they drive themselves crazy. So what we're trying to do is say, hey, look, the tournament rewards will shift, week to week. If you want like reassurance, look at the overall blockchain market indicators. You can see June analytics. Like, use that is our basic philosophy around that. And then what I think the misnomer is that people think that the 5% is used to finance my future yacht or something. Like, it's not. We use that to support the ecosystem. So one of the main challenges at the moment is that people look at these P&L screenshots and they're like $1 million, and people say, well, you'll never cash that out. And it's like, well, no shit. Like, we're 12 days old. Like, the entirety of crypto Twitter can't just descend on us and expect to be a millionaire in 10 days. But some people do think that. So we need to grow that liquidity pool. And you do that by growing the user base. So we're going to do a 40% revenue share of our fees back to the referrers, who we're going to announce that later today. That will power the growth, bring the liquidity. So already 40% of our 5% isn't actually going to us. It's going to people who are going to help grow the ecosystem. We also pay everyone's gas, which is on base. There will be volume discounts. So if you're like regular user, your fees will come down. We're going to do some buybacks to like bring player tokens back out the economy, put them back in the reward pool. And then whatever's left pays for operations and salaries.
Got to run a business. Got to run a business.
And people don't like it in crypto Twitter. You know, like,
got to run a business, man. Got to run a business. We have a fee structure on MYRIAD as well, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like I have 50 people to pay for every month. You know?
And that all makes total sense to me. I think the one piece that maybe drill a little further. So the fee structure is dynamic. So like it's meant to try to keep the player card pool in a manageable number. Is that how I'm understanding it? So I've seen the screenshots where it's like actually like 25% or something. Is that
so
too many people to sell? Yeah, I'd love to hear you.
We have like, it's really kind of part of this market initiation phase where, as I said, like we knew kind of what could happen. Like you get traction in like a highly liquid product like this, you will get the trenches come in and they will just come and buy it all up and then they will sell it. So there is this protection there for, you know, really to protect the market and the real players of the game. So there is friction. Like it is actually not trivial to make a decision to buy a player and then sell them again. It is a game. It is supposed to be a meaningful decision to select a player. This isn't you flipping a coin on Uniswap. It is a different thing. And when you get that sea of red, the fee does go up. It's like an Uber surge charge, effectively. And people complain and say, hey, I'm trying to extract from your economy and you're taxing me. And I'm like, yes, I am. Because you made $20,000 and I taxed you 4 and you still made 16. So don't cry in my skill-based sports arena. Actually, everything we're doing is trying to deter that sort of user. We don't want them, frankly. But what we do want is the real users who are going to keep playing. So we have this like meme thing called like good lads. So like the good lads who trade, they actually like the game. They're going to stick around every opportunity we have to make sure they get the best value. So they get access to, we're going to do another drop of tokens later today. They're going to be the guys who get first access. We still have over 100 player tokens to drop and we drop them all at the minimum price, bottom price of the market. So the guys who have like positive trading history and helped us build in this phase that are going to get that. Everyone who cashed out on us is not, you know, they will pay the 20% tax. They will not get access to the drops. And it's fair, you know, there's no real other way to build a market that will sustain unless you're selective of the users and you play with the game theory a bit.
Absolutely. I think folks, they see the quick profits, they get excited about it. They're not thinking about sustainability, which is the only thing that you can be thinking about or should be a top priority, right? And giving incentives to folks who are actually playing the game is coming for a 48-hour quick flip.
And we can't and are not stopping them, by the way. Like we know this is part of the game, but we are taxing them. And I think that's fair.
It's very interesting. I don't know that we've seen it like a dynamic like this, which I'm sure is why we're seeing some of the FUD out there, but I appreciate your response. I think the other concern angle is around like the IP. I know you've got deep experience in this industry, you know, coming with So Rare and having done this before. I guess any commentary on that with folks who might be concerned?
Mm-hmm. So we have a data license from Opta, one of the most reputable companies in the space. So that they provide the real match information, the player information, player names.
Nice.
What we do not use, and this is very deliberate, is the official likenesses, player imagery, club logos, official kits. We get those made as artistic impressions, effectively. The main reason we do that is because our goal is to be the most rewarding fantasy sports game. So once you start doing these deals, they want 40 to 60% revenue share, right? This makes your game innately extractive. We're going for 95+% back to player, which is how you beat the DraftKings of the world. If you do the official licensing deals with everyone, you will never get there. So we don't. We are speaking to individual athletes about deals, face a brand, whatever. But we're not going to do it en masse. And this is perfectly legal. DraftKings do not have official licenses. This is just FUD. It's nonsense. You all know that you play fantasy games that do not have official licenses. So we've had this cleared by a lawyer who used to work for FIFA. They said we're on solid ground. This does not mean that people won't have opinions. Clubs and players will look at this and go, hey, you guys are making loads of money and we're not cut in, and they'll be unhappy about it. And they might send letters. When it comes to that, we'll defend our position. We're pretty confident that it's fine.
Got it. Oh, well, thanks for clearing that up. Adam, I know we're out of time. Do you have a few more minutes to stick on?
Absolutely.
I see a question here from Wally. I know he's been, this is Wally Woosh, not Wally Swoosh, but what triggered rep level trading portfolio or what?
Is he asking about the, okay. So right now there's like objectives in the game. So there's like a tutorial, you go through that, you open your first packs, you play your first tournament, and you start building this reputation level. What that is actually the start of is our kind of like loyalty and volume discount. So like if you trade and let's say this week you've got like a positive trading balance, your rep will go up. And then when it's time to do some airdrops, some free stuff, whatever, obviously it's going to be those guys that do it. So we've thought about this game theory of like how you build a really strong market. And it's always by rewarding and retaining your guys, like the guys who are going to stick around. So that's what the reputation system is for.
Got it. Yeah, that makes sense. And the other question I have is, how does someone get started? So they've seen all the action over the timeline. Perhaps they thought it was a little frothy. They wanted to wait for a pullback. Now that pullback is here.
Well, it's cheaper today. What's crazy is like that day yesterday started and finished in exactly the same place with like 50% spike in the middle. So in the morning, everyone was like elated. And then in the evening, they were like Kermiting themselves off buildings. But actually, we're all in the same place. So we kind of expected it. We just thought nothing runs like this and then doesn't go down. But we're confident in the experience. It's actually fun. People want it. That's the kind of the most rewarding thing of like the last week. Is the numbers are great, but it's also like people are like, hey, this is like a 2021 NFT mint again. Like I feel like I actually enjoyed this and I want to come back and I want to play. And it's not just because I'm doing it for money. It's also probably a bit for money, but like they actually seem to enjoy the experience and the app, which is really cool.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I follow this industry pretty closely. I see things that pop up that get excitement. This feels like an outlier. Like I haven't seen this level of excitement for a new app in a while. I feel like they come around like maybe once a quarter, once a half a year or so. So this feels like it might have some real legs. But Adam, what I don't know that I gathered, so how does someone get started if they want to start playing today? Like what are some steps that they should take to start exploring the website?
Yeah, it's super easy. You can go to pro.football.fun. We also have a Discord. Pro.football.fun is where you get your login. We do have a Discord for new chat. It's currently absolute chaos. It may be more noise than help. There is a wiki as well with like a how to play guide, which is linked from the website, and it's linked in the app as well. But I would say just don't overthink it. You go in there, you find some players that you like. You need at least 5. You transfer gold, which is actually just USDC, into your in-game wallet on base. You spend it on the market. Works exactly like any DEX you've used, and enjoy the games. There's the next tournament is coming on Friday. So yeah, just kind of use that time to get to know the app and have fun.
Love that. Love that. Love that. Well, to everybody listening, make sure you subscribe to us. All right. That's the one call out. Now, a lot of y'all came to listen to Adams. You're probably football.fun fans, kick.com. There's a lot of you listening to us live right now. Make sure you hit the follow button because we host this show Monday to Friday, every day, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We usually give some money away, Adam, but we're a little overboard. So we're going to move it to end of week. We give money away every day, 5 days a week. Yeah. We've given away like,
so do I know.
Right? You do, right? There you go. Love that. We're just we're Oprah out here. We've given like almost $2 million away on the show in the last 2 years. So love to see that. Make sure you follow at Adam FDF on X with a little underscore at the end. And then football.fun. Love what you guys doing. Definitely rooting for you guys, Adam. So thank you for coming on and hope to see you again soon.
Appreciate it. Thanks very much for the invite. I'll come back anytime.
Hell yeah. See you, mate. Ciao. All right. Well, Tyler, this was great. This was great. Like I just said, we're not going to make time for YEET today because we're over and your boy's already late to a meeting. But listen, giveaways start back again tomorrow, yeet.com. And we'll just do 2 for Farcoin Friday like we like to do it for the coins. So Tyler, I'll see y'all tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for the episode of FOMO Hour on Rock Radio. Let's go.